Good day, everyone. My name is Jayorami A. an engineer of BSED Mathematics. And for today's video, we're going to discuss Lesson 5, which is entitled Parental Involvement in Special Education. It is a part of Module 2 of the course subject entitled Foundation of Special and Inclusive Education. So for today's lesson, we have three learning outcomes. First is identify the roles and rights of parents in the learning of the children in special education. Second is discuss the practices and approaches that encourages parent involvement. And lastly, value the importance of parental involvement in the education of special children. So now we are going to discuss first the power of participation. So ginaingon dira, when schools and families work together, student learning and outcomes improve. The evidence is clear and consistent in first, children's attitudes towards school. Second is the likelihood that they will take more challenging classes. And third is their social and skills and behavior. For instance, but a particular student, young parent is having a good relationship sa teacher. So what do you expect kaya sa performance in terms of in him or her academic? Diba, common case ana is kasagaran mga duol or good relationship ang parent o teacher, expected nga ang bata is consistent nga ga-excel sa academic field. So again, the evidence is clear and consistent in children's attitude towards school simply because siguro si teacher o parent nagistorya about sa particular student, gishare ni parent ang iyang mga naibalaan sa iyang anak. So si teacher is na aware, then nag-adjust. That is a reason why that particular children or student is comfortable sa classroom. Next is we're going to discuss parent education and community involvement. So the Constitution is clear on the importance of parental involvement in the education of their children. Parents of children with special needs are valuable members of the educational team in the program of rehabilitation for independent living of their children. The basic requirements under the policies and guidelines in special education are the parent must. First is parent education shall be necessary component of the special education program. As early as possible, parents shall be made aware of their children's handicaps and intervention strategies needed to help facilitate each child's academic, social, emotional, and communicative development. So, naka-italize diya, early as possible, parents shall be made aware of their children's handicaps. So, dapat sa balay pa lang daan or before children enter a school, dapat kita nga parent is aware na ta kung unsay weakness ug strength sa atong mga anak. Next is parents shall be provided with information and the process of sharing experiences continuously with other parents experiencing similar problems. It is a good thing no nga ang both parent having this same cases. For example nga, yung anak is having an autism. Itong isa ka parent is, yung anak is napoy autism. So it is a good thing nga mag-share sila mga experiences or tips or ways how they handle their child. Next is parent of children with special needs shall be directly involved in the planning of educational and special services for their children. They shall be helped to develop confidence in their abilities to cope with, care for, and teach their disabled children. Logically, dapat si parents jud ang mangunay. Sa jud ang dapat mangusog nga iyang anak is mabutang sang komportable o sakto nga educational setting. So disregard ang tawag nito, ang iyang disability. Dapat kita nga parent is again kita dapat mangunay, kita dapat mangusog ug isa sa mga magsuporta sa atong anak. Next is the family of the child shall be involved in the process of habilitation and rehabilitation. It should be regarded as the major rehabilitation unit. Just like what I have said or you saw in the previous slide, kita dapat ang mangunay, kita dapat ang musuporta kung unsay makaayo sa atong mga anak nga na disability, dapat atong buhaton. Next, we are going to discuss understanding parents in families of children with disabilities. So first, all parents and family members must adjust to the birth of child with disability or the discovery that a child has disability. Logically, dapat the parent and the family members jud ang mag-adjust kaysa katong na child with disability ang mag-adjust. Ngano man, you need to make that child comfortable o kanang dili ilang sa environment. So kita nga parent, family members, kita mismo ang mag-adjust just to make him or her comfortable or di mailang sa environment kung asa man siya. Now, there are 9 roles in the responsibilities that parents of children with disabilities must fulfill. First is caregiver. So, kung yung bata na may disability o wala, parent should be the caregiver or ang mag-atiman sa ilang anak. Counselor, ang mag-guide sa ilang anak. Marriage partner. So, it is important to have both mother figure and father figure para at least ang foundation or wala ko bala sa proper right term na gamitan, basta ang foundation sa bata is solid. Kumbaga wala siya mga tawag nito, anong tawag na identity crisis na ma-experience. Provider. So parents should be provider financial or emotional needs of his or her child. Behavior management specialist. So it is important for us parent to not to discipline our children. Kung kailangan disiplinahan, kung kailangan i-appreciate. Next is information specialist. So I think this is a common case or ang tanan ani is naka-experience way back sa mga bata pa ta. Kaya kita mga inquiries, mga pangutana sa kinabuhi. Si parent is kailangan niya tubagon o tama. Information specialist. Kumbaga, Bisaya pa dapat pahawd-hawd ang mga parent. Pahawd-hawd in a good thing. Next is teacher. Parent should be the first teacher of his or her child before sa magsulod sa school para again at least before musulod imong bata sa school, at least bro na kaunsay weakness ug strength ug dapat mag-focus imong bata. Now, advocate for school and community services. So, as parent dili mag-end sa balay ang atong role, but extended na siya kanang sa school, sa community ang role sa parent is magpabilin. Now, respite care. The temporary care of an individual with disabilities by non-family members is a critical support for families with children with severe disabilities. So, it is about pag-atiman sa usa ka individual nga nay disabilities. Next is parent-to-parent groups give parents of children with disabilities support from veteran parents who are experiencing similar circumstances and challenges. Again, just like what I have said earlier, that is important to have a parent-to-parent conversation between those parent nga na children with disabilities. At least ma-share nila ilang mga tips or ilang mga ways, alternative ways on how they handle their day, how they handle their children. Next is parents can and should learn to help teacher their child with disabilities. Again, dili mag-end sa balay ang role sa usa ka parent. Extended na siya sa eskwelahan or sa community. Kailangan panindigan ang role sa pagiging parent. Now we have parental rights, and which means that so first is parents have rights to obtain independent educational evaluation, which means that you have the right to have your child evaluated by professionals from outside the school district if you disagree with an evaluation that has been conducted by the school district. So you are free to consult from outside profession from professionals, of course, if you are not agree or na ba kay di ba ka mutuo sa evaluation nga i-conduct si mong bata within the school district. Next is parents have rights to receive prior written notice anytime the school district plans to evaluate the student, schedules a meeting where decision will be made about the student's eligibility or educational placement, or refuses to evaluate or change the student's plan or placement, which means that the school is required to notify you beforehand if they wish to evaluate your child, determine whether your child is eligible for special education services, and change your child's evaluation or educational placement or plan. So si school is mag-agad gyapon ka parent. Si parent nasa gyapon sa kamot ni parent or ang final decision if mo-agree ba siya with that evaluation nga i-conduct siyang anak. Through notification. So through magpatawag mo siya, tagaan ba siya sulat papel from school ya taga parent nga ni ani mong anak anana. Next is parents have right to consent to evaluation into the school providing special education services, which means that the school must obtain your written or informed consent before they can evaluate your child or begin to provide special education services to your child following initial evaluation and eligibility. Just like the previous child nga kailangan pa i-inform si parent taga letter nga kailangan mag-conduct og evaluation siyang child or sa pang ubang nga cases diha. So after ana is need tong papel or consent nga niuyon ka ana. So ana sa kasayan. Next is parents have rights to have access to their child's educational records, which means that you have the right to see your child's educational records, to have copies, and to have the records explained to you by school officials. Of course, you have the right to see the record of your child, educational records imong bata. But of course, I think nanay limit or nalay kuan na dapat kita sa school ang records yung bata. Next is parent have right to present and resolve a complaint, which means that procedures for resolving parents' complaint against school district include mediation, resolution meetings, due process hearings, and appealing to court. So again, if di siya muto, just like sa first slide yata, if si parent di muto sa evaluation nga i-conduct sa school, he or she is free to ask professionals from outside or ireklamo ba niya ang school Parents have right in due process hearing. It's like what I have said, parents, kung di si dili o yun si parents sa nakandak nga evaluation sa iyang anak, it is his or her right to have a hearing, which means that both you and the school district have the right to request a due process hearing to resolve a dispute. A due process hearing is a formal legal procedure before an impartial hearing officers or administrative law or judge. So we are going to discuss now the supporting parental involvement. So first is adequate advance notification. When parents are invited to a planning meeting, it is helpful if this invitation is extended at least 1 week in advance of the proposed date. Advanced planning can be particularly important where parents are working or where they need to make child care arrangement. So it is important nga na prior notice ang madawat si parent, advance notification madawat si parent before magkandak og meeting. Of course, para at least si parent is mapa-apply niya yung mga schedule or masata nag-schedule ka na nga meeting kay lain po ugma ng meeting tapos karon na ka maghatag og notification, di ba? The probability nga mag-attend ang parent is I think 20% kay syempre ugma na good, di ba? Next is encourage practical involvement of parents. Parents often ask, what can I do to help my child? And teachers and professionals should give this question some prior consideration. Parent may volunteer to undertake a task such as listening to their child read every evening. Parent may also be involved in monitoring behavior, including supporting interventions by giving rewards. So just like what I have said earlier, ng education sa pang bata, dili siya sa school lang nato ihatag sa alang-alang. Kundi kita mismo parent is mangunay or mangusog na magtudlo sa atong anak. Encourage practical involvement of parents. It's important to educate our child. Kita mismo ang magtudlo sa ila about sa lesson or sa. Next is information and writing. It may be helpful if parents are given written information about the process so that they can understand their role and rights and responsibilities and know what to expect from the process. So it is important or it's better to have a written information nga ihatag sa parent para at least makabalo silang role, rights, responsibilities as parent. So for instance, na ipapel nga ihatag ng school, nakabutang dito ang rules, rights, and responsibilities sa usa ka parent. Pwede po siya through meeting, which is discuss ni teacher or professional about the role and rights and responsibilities of a parent. Next is parent-teacher communication, which is from the first slide. Naginaingan nito nga kung si parent o teacher have a good relationship or naay conversation, good conversation, expected na si student is free no expected na si student is ga-excel sa klase in academic field. He or she is comfortable with environment because si teacher is nakabalo unsay weakness or strength ni student kasi giingon ni parent, aware si parent, aware si teacher. So basahan nato, the use of different form of communication in service program, from school notebook, parent-teacher conference. Continued communication with the family is critical to the success of the program. So para na magpatawag og PTA kinahanglan yun nga mag-attend si teacher. Si teacher o si parent of course. Para at least aware ta both sides, si parent o si teacher. Unsay kulang sa atong mga bata. Now, I think that is the end of our discussion. To sum it up, again, parental involvement in special education. Dili, sa akong side, dili, as parent, dili, again, as parent, dili, mag-end ang atong role as parent sa balay. Extended na siya sa school, sa community. So, we should akong igamit. We should aware kung unsa tong anak naman ay disability or wala. Dapat aware ta, dapat kabalo ta, dapat kailata sa atong anak. Dapat mag-set ta og mga butang nga makahimo sila comfortable para at least once sila, para at least sa school is comfortable sila. Wala lang kasimple. So, salamat sa pagtan-aw. So again, I'm Jeremy Anib Jr. and that is lesson 5 all about, which is parental involvement and special education. Thank you.